Every month around December in Romania, we have various doctors coming up on television or on radio channels, and they warn people about eating too much on Christmas because usually around this time of year, you get patients stacking up in hospitals with various illnesses such as pancreatitis, or they drink too much and they end up with an alcoholic coma. So you have these health warnings that the government pays some doctors in order to enlighten the public on how to behave and how to be more responsible during Christmas. And then you look at America.
I am a Chinese American non binary therapist and psychologist and DEI consultant.
Chang specializes in research and treatment of eating disorders within marginalized communities in the Bay Area. They say decoupling from diet culture is often eye-opening and also uncomfortable.
I love how she's a psychologist and DEI consultant, as well as the fact that she specializes on eating disorders within marginalized communities. So it's hyper specialized because there's many types of eating disorders. There's the marginalized communities, and then there is the central community where the major traffic is taking place, where everyone is there. But she's not interested in that. She goes to the margins. She goes to the sideways. So why not just ask a doctor or a dietitian or someone who studied at med school? Oh, we don't need those people anymore because now we have the best invention that mankind has created since the steam engine. The social scientist. In other words, the person which is trained on how to manipulate the public. It's literally what a social scientist is. It's manipulating people. So it's very interesting that we live in the world where harmful misinformation lies behind every corner and is willing to get you. It's going to get you, and it's going to get your family because it's the misinformation, very dangerous. But on the other hand, you also get to take medical advice when it comes to dieting from a professional manipulator. All right, fine. Let's see what exactly do they have to say. But I guess it doesn't apply to me because this is like hyper specialized. It's just for marginalized people. So I really don't know if I'm on the margin or not. I mean, when I walk on the road, I walk on the sideways because in the middle there's the cars. So I guess in a way I might be marginalized. I've no idea. But let's see what she has to say.
Strings is a professor of sociology at the University of California, Irvine, and author of the book Fearing the Black Body: The Racial Origins of Fat Phobia. Her extensive research shows that the fat phobia so prevalent in today's society was largely a product of two elements working together to anoint Europeans as superior to all others. The thing is, the BMI was never meant to measure individual health, and again, was based purely on studies of white men.
Now I understand why she came out with her credentials. Like, even more important that she's into universities, that she is non-binary. Like, that is the essence, the core of her being, because apparently it's really important. Like, if you're a white man, it's a different way of thinking. It's genetical, I assume. What does it have to do with the fact that the studies are made by white men? I thought the science is the science. Oh my God, she's against Dr. Fauci, isn't she? Because Dr. Fauci has said multiple times that he is the science and he is a white man. So she is against Fauci. This is what it is. It's a way of revolting herself against the system. It's the science keeping her down. Meanwhile, apparently the white man wants her fit. So that's not good, right? Let's talk a little bit about the body mass index, because Marxists have tried to wrap their brain around this concept for decades, but unfortunately it's too big of a concept and the Marxist brain just is struggling with it, but they're losing the battle. So the body mass index is a mathematical formula which doctors use in order to measure a person's weight. And based on the body mass index, you can be considered in various stages. You can be underweight, you can be normal weight, you can be overweight, or then you get to obesity grade 1, 2, 3. Now, usually, again, like the Marxists, they don't know medicine. They just opened a medical textbook. They found that, they got offended, and that's the only thing they know. But in a hospital, the doctor is supposed to see the patient. You're not going to just ask the patient for information over the phone. Normally, at least in my country, we are advised to always see the patient. Why? Because if you have someone like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he might be on a high BMI because he has a lot of weight, but that doesn't mean that he is overweight, because you look at the guy, you see that he is athletic, he is muscular, and then you conclude that the BMI in his case, in his situation, isn't very relative. Now, what do doctors use BMI for? Well, for one, it might actually come up if they want to administer treatment. So if you take your cat to a veterinarian, they will ask, what is the weight of your cat? And they will actually measure the animal. Why? Because a cat that has more kilograms than another might require 2 doses of pills, or might require a larger injection. It depends, okay? This is not like the white man conspiring against the feline. It's not like doctors in a dark room decided to get together and have this wild conspiracy theory in order to make the feline's life more difficult. So if it applies to veterinarians, why wouldn't it apply to humans? Because the science, the principle is the same. In other words, when a person goes to a hospital and let's say requires prednisone, the weight of the person is taken into account. It's kind of like if you want to tranquilize a dog, you're going to use a smaller dosage than if you want to tranquilize a horse. I think like this makes sense, but again, like the Marxist and his brain is trying to struggle with these notions. They're very difficult to understand. So they actually think that white people were conspiring with each other in order to come up with these crazy theories, these crazy medical things, just to offend Marxists. But that's not the case. Another reason why we look at the BMI is that it's one of many variables to detect whether or not a person, for example, is at risk of having a stroke. So you look at the BMI, you look at the blood pressure, you look at the age, like you look at many things. Now you can make the argument, well, you know, like age, why do we look at age? Because, for example, there might be some people which at the age of 40, they manage to keep fit. So they're not really representative of that entire age demographic of 40. Like they might be very healthy and very fit, right? It's really the same argument that they use with the BMI. Like all of these things are obviously subjective. Like medicine is not exactly like mathematics. But when you add many variables together, at the end of the day, you get a representative picture so that you can treat the person or you can warn them to change their lifestyle or something like that. This ridiculous concept of fat phobia only exists in the Marxist tra-la-la-la land. I mean, imagine if you get in trouble in the playground with a kid and you say, look, if you keep pushing me, I'll call my brother, and he is morbidly obese. And the other kid like, whoa, don't get hasty. Please don't call your brother. No one is afraid of fat people. All right? I don't understand why this concept of fat phobia exists. The problem is that if you look at the excesses, so we're talking about a person that is morbidly obese and a person that would be incredibly malnourished, both of these people look unhealthy. You don't need a doctor to tell you. Like, you wouldn't want to be these people. Look, this cat is morbidly obese. Would you not consider that the owner of this cat is mistreating the animal? I mean, it can't even walk, for fuck's sakes. Right? It's got a lot of cardiovascular problems. If I were to take a cat like this to the vet would probably start spanking me right there and then take my cat away so that it stops being abused. No one is saying that, like, if you're chubby or if you're overweight or anything like that is a problem. But when you reach a certain level, both in a plus and in a minus, you will have various health complications. Health complications which you can avoid. There is no overarching conspiracy that the white man is imposing upon the world. No, like, this is true regardless of whether you're in Romania, or you're in the United States, or you're in Japan, or you're in China, or any of these places. But again, you have the social master manipulator, which is trying to convince you to live an unhealthy lifestyle. Like, they're not even saying that you should leave people alone. Like, if someone decides not to be fit, leave them alone, okay? Because that's something that I agree with. I mean, that is like, it doesn't bother me, you know, you do whatever you want. But, no, what they are saying is you should be fat. You should actually not be on a diet. You should, And the thing is, look, I'm fat. You can't see me because I don't have a webcam. But I remember when I tried going up a flight of stairs and I was gasping for breath. And that's when I realized that I have a problem. I didn't need a doctor to tell me this. I was realizing it's like, okay, my weight keeps going up and up and up. And if I can't go up a flight of stairs today, eventually I will end up in a hospital. So I decided to go on a diet. But I guess I should have asked permission because, I was actually playing into a conspiracy theory designed by Europeans in order to keep me fit.
And a lot of their personal writing focuses on navigating the world as fat. Take airplanes, restaurants, movie theaters. Entry is limited to an assumed body size. We might consider basic accommodations like doorways or seatbelts as value neutral, but that only shows us how much diet culture has influenced the design of our world.
You know, they keep saying that right-wingers are masters of conspiracy theories, but at least usually right-wingers get it right every now and then with their conspiracy theories. Meanwhile, the left has this weird notion that Europeans were conspiring in order to create various doorways and seats in airplanes so that people feel uncomfortable if they're overweight. Why, though? Like, why? No, seriously, this is the question that I would love to ask her. Why did Europeans do this? And at the same time, the same Europeans are creating the welfare state, where they are helping the marginalized and the minorities with free healthcare. Why are the Europeans so bewildering? Like, so on one hand, they're trying to oppress people, and on the other hand, they're trying to help people, and on the other hand, they're giving jobs to social scientists like this person to whine about Europeans. Wow. So the way these conspiracy theories by the left work are so interesting. Like, you have these people that on one hand are trying to oppress, but on the other hand they're trying to promote, but then it's like, you know what they're trying to do? I'll tell you what they're trying to do, is they're trying to confuse the enemy. We're confusing the Marxists, that's what we're doing, so that you can't be 2 steps ahead of us. You can't be 2 steps ahead of us if we don't know where we're going to be, huh? Why is it that when leftists come up with these batshit crazy conspiracy theories, no one calls them out? It is absolutely ridiculous. So, I mean, do I even need to explain that at the end of the day, you need a product that's going to fit the average person? So when you design a chair, you design it for the average person, because obviously there's going to be, overweight people that might not fit in the chair. But alternatively, if you make the chair immense, most people are going to feel uncomfortable sitting in it. It's kind of the same with the doorways, I suppose. I mean, I think like at one point it might actually become a structural integrity for the store if the door is too large. But not only that, like, do you know how expensive doors are? Like, if you have double doors, they're more expensive than a single door. So yeah, like, they're trying to cut costs. It's not a conspiracy. They're not like trying to be against clients that are overweight. But is this idea of assuming malice out of everything. Like, literally every single thing that doesn't fit you like a glove is because of malice. Like, someone in society was maleficent in order to offend you and try to push you and manipulate you in a certain way. And this is leftist ideology 101. Like, always notice when they're speaking how they assume everything has to do with malice. Everything is because, like, there is a grand arching conspiracy theory of some Europeans sitting at a table, and what they're trying to do is to oppress people and manipulate them. And meanwhile, you have an actual social scientist that's not a doctor and is telling people about how the BMI is not important and how you should stop dieting and you should just let yourself go. Why? Because it's easy, that's why, right? Like, every time someone asks something of you, it's because they want to oppress you. It can't be because they actually want your own good. No. It's because they want to oppress you. And being morbidly obese doesn't come with any health issues, right? I mean, the fact that you're more at risk of diabetes, that doesn't seem to be a problem for the social scientist. The fact that all of your weight is going to be applied on your knees, and when you're incredibly overweight, like, that pressure builds up over the years, and you're going to have problems when you're going to be old. Well, that probably doesn't care, huh? And what about the cholesterol, which clogs the artery and can clog the coronary artery, and you can get a heart attack? Oh, apparently that doesn't matter. I guess there's a conspiracy theory which suggests that people who are obese are at more of a risk of getting hospitalized or dying from COVID. Oh no, that's fine. You know, like the plague is so bad that people are being locked up in their own homes in certain countries. But at the same time, they just don't care about exercising because that's a conspiracy. Oh my god. And by the way, this is La La Land in the United States. And it's normal there. Like, I didn't cherry pick this. Because I was getting this video from someone and then they showed me what goes on that radio. Absolutely batshit insane. And by the way, you know, it's kind of interesting because they keep going, white man is evil and white man did this and white man did that. When you actually look at their demographic, they have more white people watching them than Fox News. Like, Fox News has a more diverse audience, is appealing to minorities a lot more than NPR does. Honestly, the absolute state. Let me know what you guys think, though, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.